Hello everybody. This is the first video, probably last. I don't know. I'm gonna do something like this maybe eventually more often. We're doing some sound design stuff in Serum 2. This is a new technique that I discovered relatively recently. More like I found out about it while fucking around. If you don't know, Serum 2, our baby here, our favorite, has a new feature with its wavetables and its spectral synthesis, where you can drag and drop images into it. I have discovered that some of the best images that you can use, especially if you want to do like bass design and some dubstep stuff, are, annoyingly enough, really like sus photos. If I just go ahead here, let me go ahead, where is it? So I was in a voice chat with a few friends, just kind of chilling, working on some stuff. And that's kind of how it went. I was like, send me an image, Desto sent me this bullshit. And then I turned it, you know, you just... So if you want some like really gritty, really grimy, hold on, let me. You know, if you go to 140 BPM just about, because that's what I usually produce in, 140. Yeah, and all of that came from, let me go ahead and pull it up beforehand. I'm probably gonna have to blur this in post. It came from this. So this bass here, or wait, here, came from this stupid fucking image. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I did that. So here, let's go ahead and we're gonna create a new preset lane. So if I go ahead, we're just gonna keep this over here to reference. So in the song that I'm working on, I'm producing in D just because it's fun, especially I'm doing like orchestral EDM stuff using, you know, BBC Symphony Orchestra, all that. But here, let me go ahead and show you. So what we're gonna wanna do is, we're just gonna go ahead and drag that in. So you're gonna go ahead and go to Finder. I'm using a Mac. I'm in Logic. I have made Logic my little bitch in this sense. But there's like with this bass, the only post-processing is OTT. So you can do this in literally any DAW. Logic, Ableton, FL, Reaper, you know, anything you want. But here. And so I believe I have this going to, what percent do I have this going to? It is going to 48. So if we go ahead, bring this up to 48, it's 39. I can just double tap and do that actually. And then here, I have this as an envelope, just dragging that to there, and then, right. Let me go ahead and turn the random down, turn the phase. Also, already we have like we have a pretty good bass, right? What we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and get a nice, just like a nice little impact here. So we're gonna want something like this. We're just gonna drag it onto the chorus pitch. We're gonna go into our matrix. We're gonna set this to like that. So you can already hear kind of that attack is increased. So here, if I bypass this, let me show you. Versus. So you can hear it has like an attack going on with it. And then what I did here, let me also set this to envelope. So that way we're not getting the constant. If you want that constant kind of like clicking sound, you can keep that on. I don't like it. I just like it as impact. And then what I did next go ahead, add this. I set this to, it's just default shapes. I set it to just the square wave. We're gonna go ahead, set this to PD, original FM. I believe I added synth. Here, actually, let me hide this. Let me see if I can do this from memory. We added synth, brought the warp up. And then we brought the level down. Random to 0. Phase. Alright, I kind of need it. Oopsies. Yeah, so you can already tell we're getting a very similar sound here. So here, if you want to kind of like reference this with, you know, the original so far, I have the warp actually brought just about all the way up. And then I think I have it a little lower. Just about there. And the really nice thing is with the images, like if you have images with really good values, you get like these really nice, like big, here, let me show you, because, you know, you go through this and you can see it's like not quiet. You know, it's got these just real high highs and real low lows. You know, there's no like itty bitty ones. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and have that. And then what we do, this is gonna seem kind of counterintuitive for the time being because we have this, you know, we have this impact going on, but we're not gonna use it right now. What we're gonna do is this. So we get that nice, like, kind of back and forth feel. You know, that opening up, closing. We're gonna set the phase to 180. At least in my case, I set it to 180 to match the other basses. Oh shit, did I do this backwards then? I think I did do it backwards. I did do it backwards. What do you know? So you can set the phase to 180 and then just have it going reverse, or set the phase to 0 and have it going forward. I'm dumb, so I did having it go reverse. And then, you know, you're gonna set this to retrig. You can increase. You know, but that's basically it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's about it in terms of this screen. In terms of your oscillators. Next is your effects. So first, you're gonna wanna go ahead, add some distortion. I added overdrive and I believe 2 or 4 layers. So you're gonna go ahead, add those 4 layers. Already it's getting a little grittier. I added an equalizer, if I remember correctly. Let me see. Yeah, so we have distortion. Yep, 4 layers of overdrive and an equalizer. I'm gonna go ahead and show you just setting that up. So with the distortion, I have that set to halfway. And then if anyone does end up watching this, I'll have a preset to this in the description. I'll go ahead and export this as a preset so y'all can have it if you want. So already this is getting big. We're gonna go ahead and add some of this to it. I believe I set the gain to 6.2. 6.2. And then with the frequency, we're gonna do, yeah. So you get this kind of nice impact. This brings back the impact. So you're gonna bring this down to round about here. Set this to an 1/8, I believe, envelope. And we're just gonna drag and drop this onto the frequency. So make sure that you have your Q up a little bit at 73. Then this is at 82. 82. And that way you get your impact back. So if you don't want to have, you know, you can honestly add a macro here. Actually, no, here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of the macro. Remove all destinations. Where is it? If we go remove all destinations, there we go. I think if I smooth it out, honestly. We can add that macro there just to allow you to kind of futz around with it, get it to either have that wob wob feeling, to have that, or just to be like a sustained. And it's gonna have that, you know, impact every time. From there, we just add a hyperdimension. Super simple, just to widen up our bass. From there, we're gonna go ahead and add a compressor, as you usually do. Obviously, set it to multiband. Bring this to about, what, 8.8, I think I did on the other one. Yeah, you can see over here in the corner. And then minus 14.8 to make it nice and loud. Let me go ahead and make it. So already we were getting this nice, like, heavy, gritty sound. From there, we're gonna add a comb filter because filters make everything sound cooler, especially comb filters. I fucked around with comb filter too. Wasn't the biggest fan of that. If you want to, you can futz around with it. I did move the comb filter up. So we're just going to go ahead, set the drive up. Honestly, can I just like copy this? Damn it. Okay. But already you can hear that like that grit. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring it down to about here. Turn the drive up to a little less than halfway. And already, dude, this is sounding really good. If you move the filter up to before the distortion. And then I think, is that right? There we go. You just gotta tone in that. There we go, yeah. So you get this really gritty, kind of screamy bass. It's a lot of fun, you know, you go ahead and I'm just gonna even it out. And actually, let me go ahead and add a macro here so you can add. Just because I like the way that it sounds. I like being able to kind of change things up. You know, imagine having that as like, you know, you could just do some fun stuff with that. But no, I am been loving futzing around in Serum 2 learning some new stuff. I hope that you guys learn some new stuff, some new things that you can apply to your own production, stuff like that. Like I said, I will go ahead and save this. Let me go preset for production tutorial. Yeah, so there's that. I'll go ahead and put the preset to this in the description down below. But let me go ahead and show you guys this in context. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up what I'm using it for. And you guys will be able to see, you know, kind of how I use it and all that stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and actually let me... Nah, we'll figure it out later when I'm doing the editing and stuff. But here, let me go ahead and get that up and ready. Alrighty, and we are back. Okay, so you can see here, I've got a project that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. It is a new song of mine that I'm gonna have coming out. And I know what y'all are thinking, ew, she works in Logic. I do work in Logic, and it's gross. But I've been working in Logic for 6 years, so I've learned how to turn it into my bitch. But let me go ahead and just show you what I've done. So let me turn these off so I can show it to you just kind of like in context what it sounds like before and after. So this was, we're gonna go ahead and play just from the Rise. This was what the drop was before.
We're dead, Burke! Don't you have any idea what you've done here?
Did you ever see this really old movie, Alien?
I immobilize them to be hosts.
So there's kind of what that first part of the drop sounds like with without it. Let me make sure real quick.
Well, the party is
Okay,
off
yeah.
to a...
You guys are able to hear it. For a second I was like, are you guys able to hear it? You are. Okay. And then let me go ahead and turn that back on so you guys can hear it with the new bass. Really, this bass was just kind of like for some sub and just some additional sound. I really like the way it sounds, so I was like, fuck it, we're gonna do a whole video on this because I've been really loving doing, you know, sound design with images and stuff like that. I've made a few Reeses with it, so I'll probably put those down below as well. But here is with the bass that I made.
I immobilize them to be hosts.
Well, the party is off to a good start.
What the hell?
So yeah, you can hear that in context. Let me go ahead and show you this section, just kind of like without and with. You're able to hear it. It's not super noticeable, but it definitely adds that bit of weight that it was missing beforehand. And again, the only post-processing I have is just OTT. So you can do it in whatever DAW you're working in, as long as you have OTT, which is free, and Serum 2, which is not free, but if you're kind of like, if you're doing dubstep like this, Serum is kind of your go-to. I did dubstep for years without it. I just used samples. But once I started like kind of professionally doing it, I was like, I have to get Serum because it's sound design. So if you don't, you know, if you don't have this, or if you don't have Serum or Serum 2, then I'm really sorry. There are ways, there's Vital that you can go ahead and use, but unfortunately I'm too lazy to work in Vital because I have Serum 2 and I'm really, really happy with Serum 2. I think Vital might have some image synthesis. I don't remember. But yeah, so there's a little tutorial, there's a little showcase. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, I will have the preset download or links to the presets in the description if you guys want to go ahead and nab those. And I will maybe, hopefully, be doing more tutorials and stuff for music design, for sound design and music production in the future. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the very next video. Bye-bye.